everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Donella if you just so happen to be joining me for the very first time. By the way, thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button on your way out, because guess what, I am full of so much joy, so much personality, I talk so much stupidness on this channel. Trust me, you're gonna want to click that subscribe button before you leave. You can just pause it for a moment, and just go ahead and click the subscribe button. Trust me, you will not regret this. I'm sure you guys can tell from the title of this video that this video is not for my full coverage girls. It's not for my light to medium coverage foundation girls. It is for my minimalist girl, and I'm talking about those girls who literally want to wear makeup, but they might possibly almost be afraid of applying makeup because one, they don't really like the full-on cake face of makeup that you guys would normally see us makeup artists loving. You know, we love the products, so we're going to go in on them. I mean, hello, that's what we're here for, to test them, and we have to sometimes put on, you know, a bit more than the regular everyday girl would probably use. So I know there are persons who actually like the minimal no makeup look, so I decided to actually film and show you guys how I do it. There are days when I would do this, like, I love makeup. There are days when I actually do have those experiences. So for my minimalist girls, if you guys want to see how you can actually wear makeup every day without having to worry about the Instagram makeup, then please stay tuned. Okay, so first things first, we are going to be talking a little bit about skin prep. Skin prep is really important, especially if you're going to be doing no makeup look. Skin prep is absolutely important, especially if you have oily skin like I do. It doesn't really matter your skin type. Skin prep is always important once you plan to wear makeup throughout the course of the day. So I'm going to show you guys a few of the products that I've already applied to my face. You guys know I love my Neutrogena Hydro Boost water gel. This is the moisturizer that I continue to use. You guys have seen me mention this since I've been on YouTube here. It's like one of my holy grails. I continue to use it over and over. You also want to incorporate SPF into this routine, and you guys know I love my Hydro Boost water gel sunscreen from Neutrogena. This again I've been using since I started my YouTube channel. Like even before that, this, like, yeah, I'm down to this amount right now. This is probably another one of my holy grails. Another product that I am about to play, actually I haven't put this on my face yet. I'm not going to place it. I'm just going to place it in 3 key areas on my face, basically the left side of my face, the right side of my face, and my forehead. And this rose gold skin mist from Farsali is basically like a 4-in-1 multitasking skin mist. Hydrates the skin, it acts as a primer. You can use it to set your skin, you can use it on its own just on a normal regular day like this when you plan to set out, be in the sun for a period of time. Just remember to always use your SPF as well, along with the rose gold skin mist. Okay, so I'm really just going to take the palm of my hand and just press the rose gold skin mist into my skin, because I really want it to just dry down as much as possible before I move on to the next stage. Actually, you know, now that it's kind of wet and it hasn't really saturated or penetrated my skin as yet, I'm going to move on to the next step. And you guys know we're not going to be applying much makeup. This tutorial is for my minimalists. So the next step is something that you can skip, but if you like that glowy, radiant look throughout the course of the day, then you can always add a liquid illuminator into your makeup. This one from Maybelline. This is their strobing liquid. This one is in the shade medium 200. You really just want to add the liquid illuminator or the strobing liquid at the highest points of your cheek, and that's just going to add just a little bit of radiance, and you do that on both sides. The next step would be applying a primer. Now, although you're not going to be wearing a full face of makeup, I would also suggest using a primer that works for your skin type. One of the best ones that I use when I'm doing makeup like this on days like these is this matte cream from MAC. Whenever I'm using this product, I don't use it like how I normally apply my primers. I just use very light tapping motions around my face, because I want it to dry down, but I don't want to kind of press it down into my skin, because I really want it to adhere to the concealer and the powder whenever I apply it to my skin. Here's where you actually have to pay close attention. You're going to be using very little concealer to basically conceal those imperfections across your face, and that's it. We're going to set it with some powder and That's it. Now whenever you do this, you want to give the concealer just a, maybe like a minute or two to dry down. And the reason why I say I'm going to be incorporating a few others is because of this little tan line I have across my nose, and I feel like this NYX concealer pot is like the only concealer I feel that works well with covering up this tan line. So I'm just going to dab it like that. Like for this look, if you're a minimalist and you want that real no makeup look, you have to get a concealer that is just like your skin's complexion. Nothing lighter, nothing darker. Just get that spot on concealer. Drag this down just a little bit using the same brush that I use in the NYX pot. I'm just going to go in with my fingertip and just press it all the way in, just like that. I'm going to focus on the other areas of my face in just a bit, but I just want to show you guys, I always do the under eye area first because I want that area to dry down as much as possible before I move on to setting it with powder. Okay, so I'm going to be taking that same cappuccino concealer sheet from my NYX concealer pot, and I'm going to dig it. By the way, if you guys are interested, if you might want to know what brush I'm using, this is a Sigma brush. It's actually a big precision brush, like it's supposed to be used to bake, like to get into those small corners whenever you're baking, but I actually like using it as a concealer brush. I feel like it fits well into my pot. So what I'm going to be doing here next is spot concealing, and this is actually going to just cover up whatever little dark marks that may have been lingering around after I recently had a breakout, and I have a few black spots that were left around in this area. I had 2 acne breakouts like here and in this area right here. So I'm just going to be doing what we call spot concealing, and I'm really just going to blend that concealer all the way out because yeah, we're going for the no makeup look. So we really don't want anything that is going to be lingering around. I'm going to do the same thing around my mouth area. I'm going as many times as you want if you feel like you need to just keep going in to just to make sure that the concealer is nicely blended into your skin, because it's supposed to look like you're not wearing any makeup. Before we go in with our beauty blender, don't forget to take that same concealer that you used I'm using the same concealer that I used to do the spot concealing, which is the NYX concealer pot, and I'm just going to cover the darkness over my eyelids. Then I'm going to go in with the beauty blender that I want. Actually, this is not a beauty blender. This sponge is from Black Opal. This is one of Black Opal's beauty sponges. So now that we have that on, we're going to add just a little bit of dimension to our face. To be using one of my Black Opal foundation sticks. This one is in the shade Ebony Brown. I'm just going to focus it right here on the areas where I would normally apply my contour. And you really don't want to go in too heavy with the light taps on top of your foundation stick or whatever product you're going to be using for your contour. Very light taps. And the same thing here, you start with very light taps closer to your earlobe, and you just come in just a little bit, and then you go around. It's just going to add a bit of dimension to your skin, and you're still going to have that very nice, sleek, no makeup look. So before we add any powders, let me just grab my eyebrow pencil. I've been really liking this one from Milani. It's actually, what is it called? It's the Easy Brow Automatic Pencil Crayon, and this one is in the shade I don't know, it's a brown pencil. I'm not going to be doing the heavy eyebrow that I normally do whenever I'm wearing a full face of makeup. I'm just going to gently tap this, and just to actually extend my eyebrow, just to actually add the tail. Basically, I'm just adding the tail. What I want to do here is just add just a small bit of color, or to add a little bit of fullness to your eyebrow, so to speak. You don't want to do that whole sculpted, snatch eyebrow. You're still going for the no makeup look, so you're just going to add a small bit of eyebrow pencil or powder, whichever one you want to use, or maybe if you want to use a pomade. If you're okay with just filling in your eyebrows and leaving it as is, then that's okay, but just for filming purposes, I'm just going to add a bit of my normal prolonged wear concealer that I normally use to sculpt out my eyebrows, and took too much out. I'm just going to add this a little bit just below my eyebrows. Just eyebrows, add a little bit just below the brow bone. You know, just that it looks almost looks like you just had your eyebrows shaped up real nicely. And then I'm just going to blend this out. So the next step we're going to be moving on to is applying a bit of bronzer and applying a bit of powder to our face. For this step, we are going to be using as little powder as possible. This tutorial, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier translucent loose powder in the shade medium deep. You still don't want to use too much powder, so I'm going to be using just basically this amount. If you guys could actually see, I'm really going to be using this amount and try to make this amount work. If I need more, which I highly doubt, then I'm going to be using more, but I highly doubt this because you really want this to look more makeup to look as natural as possible. And I know my banana powder is going to be a little bit too bright. It's actually a brightening powder as well. So I'm just going to press in my Laura Mercier translucent loose powder and see any it doesn't look cakey, it still looks natural. All right, next we're going to just be adding a little bit of powder product to kind of just keep that cream contour in place. And by the way, I used the last bit of my CoverGirl, like, yeah, I hit pan already. I used a small bit that is left over from my CoverGirl cream collection bronzer in the shade Ebony Brown, and I'm just going to be lightly tapping that over my face. Still going for the no makeup look, so you guys are still basically going to be seeing my skin. I'm going to just brighten my cheek area just a little bit more, and I'm going to be going in with my Coffee and Cocoa palette from Beauty Bakery. Like, guys, she broke two of the colors. You're Grounded and La Vida Mocha fell out, but that's okay. I still have Anti-Depresso and Deja Vu to work with, so I'm going to be taking a little bit of Deja Vu, which is this like orange shimmery shade right here, and I'm just going to lightly tap a little bit of that in the area where I just applied the contour. If you feel like you may have added too much, then you can always go in with a sponge or a brush and just kind of press it into the skin. And I'm going to go into my Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette, and I'm going to go into this really bronzy highlight shade, and I'm just going to tap just a bit of that on the highest points of my cheek. Take the same beauty sponge and I'm just going to press that into my skin so that it looks like it's coming from within. So it looks like the glow is actually coming from within. We're going to focus on the eye area and just add a bit of dimension and maybe just a small pop of color to the eye area. You guys already know I prepped the eye area with a bit of my concealer that I use. The same NYX concealer, but I'm going to actually go over it one more time because I see a bit of creasing. I'm going to take that same bronzer that I used to apply to the area where I contoured, and I'm just going to nicely dab that in right here. The next product that I'm going to be using is not something that is actually like a eyeshadow color. However, whenever I hit pan with my MAC Studio powders, this one is the shade NW48. Whenever I hit pan like this, what I normally love using these as lid colors. So I'm just going to be using one of my eyeshadow blending brushes and just packing this on. Alright, then I'm going to go in with my NARS Climax Mascara, and I'm just going to pull these very sharp babies out. Ooh. You know, I kind of feel like these lashes are a little bit too extra for this look, but what the heck? In the words of Missy, is it worth it? Let me work it. Up a jump. I don't know what she said. Flip it and reverse it. We're almost there. We have to incorporate some sort of lip color. So for this look, I'm going to be using two lip colors. This one is from e.l.f. It's one of their lip tint. This one is in the shade Red Orange Wash. And I'm also going to be using NYX Butter Gloss just over it. This one is in the shade Madeline. So I'm just going to just add a small bit of this e.l.f. lip tint. And then I'm just going to add the NYX Butter Gloss, sorry. And blend it out with my finger. Looks good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we have come to the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you guys had fun and you may have learned a thing or two, especially for my minimalists out there. If you were dying for a makeup tutorial like this, you know, guys know I got your back. You know, just drop me a comment, drop me a message wherever you can find me. Let me know the type of makeup that you want to see on my channel next, and you guys know I will do my best to try to fulfill that order. Thank you guys so much for being here with me once again. If you are a returning subscriber, and if you happen to be here for the first time, please be sure to click the subscribe button on your way out, and also be sure to click the bell button so you can get an email notification. Thank you guys so much for being here with me once again, and I'll talk to you guys real soon on my next upload. Bye bye.